Greetings, loved ones.
Haha. This time.
Yeah. So this week was easier, huh? We told you that this week was going to be easier.
Oh.
Little break for us.
This is one of the episodes, by the way, that we had to. It got so long that we had to split it into 2 episodes. We'll talk about this later when more people are here. But 12 and 13, we're supposed to both be 12.
Yeah, and then our raw record time was like over 3 hours, and we were like, ooh.
And then you edited it down, and we're like, so I'm halfway through the episode, and I just hit the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, and we were like, okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to split it into 2.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be 2 of them.
But that's because we'll go into it later. But
we'll go into it later. But
so talking points. It's the final week of the NPC Battle Royale, and it's the Captain versus Zed.
Yeah.
Why would we pit 2 bad bitches against each other like this?
Oh my god.
Why?
Oh my god.
Why would they fight?
Why would they fight? Why not kiss?
So true.
Oh, I don't think there was any result of the semifinals that would have not made us both go,
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Because it was all 3 of our canon love interests and Kalesa. Like,
who we love.
We love Kalesa.
But it's the finals. The finals are the Captain versus Zed, and voting for that ends next Monday. And remember, whoever wins gets a very special surprise based around them here in the next couple weeks.
The Captain and Kalesa were fucking close.
Yeah, the Captain and Kalesa were like neck and neck right up there till like the last day of voting, and then he like pulled out ahead. But
the Captain and Kalesa poll chilled the fucking blood in my veins.
Yeah, for like the first 3 days, because they would be at like, there was one point where they were at 50-50, and we were like, oh my god. What are we going to do if they tie?
We checked it at one point and they were at 50-50. And then we checked like 3 hours later and they were at 50-50 still, but the votes had gone up. And we were like,
uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Well, because I don't know.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know what we would have done if we would have had to do a tiebreaker. Like, there's no, like, what do we do?
I mean, Twitter would have declared a winner and we probably would just would have gone with it. Okay.
But
yes.
Yeah, so go vote in the finals.
Go vote in the finals if you can. Yeah. We've had people at our mentions refusing to vote, which has been very funny.
And calling us bastards and blasphemers.
Yeah.
I agree. Why would we pit 2 bad bitches against each other like this?
Oh my god.
Okay.
It's scary. It's scary in here.
Episode playlist.
Yes.
First one was The Captain His Ship by MWK. Duh, that was a Captain song.
Yeah.
It's like impossible to find this song anywhere but on Spotify.
Yeah, it's nowhere.
You can't even find the lyrics. I don't understand why it has disappeared off the face of the earth, other than that like the guy that's the lead singer of MWK like plays in the support band for David Cook now. Like maybe I don't know, maybe they like made him bury his old music or something. I'm not sure, but
terrifying.
It's a really good song. I put it on there mostly for the line of "Now you're the captain, here's your ship. What's left is to go down with it." Yeah. But yeah. Pyramids of Salt by the Wonder Years.
Yeah, let's talk about Pyramids of Salt by the Wonder Years. Let's talk about it.
So you know how last week we were saying that Eye of the Storm by Of Monsters and Men is one of the songs that is on both the Fee playlist and the Kiva playlist?
I recall saying that, yes.
Yeah. So Pyramids of Salt by the Wonder Years is on the Leo playlist and the Kimrel playlist.
It hurts.
I was
people in the chat already remarking that it was on the Kimrel playlist.
Yeah. I knew when we sat down to record this episode that I was finally pulling the trigger on Pyramids of Salt, just because like within the last couple episodes, we had been doing a lot of dialogue and a lot of lines about Leo's moral lines in the sand. And the chorus of the song is, I drew a line in the sand with these worthless fucking hands. I drew a line in the sand. You washed it away again.
Yeah.
And it's just a really it's just a really good commentary on like what Leo's going through right now in terms of feeling like a moral failure no matter what he does, and feeling like he is getting worse by trying to get better. Yeah, so the chorus of the song, I knew I was pulling the trigger on it for this episode, and there's a line in the bridge of here, let me pull up the lyrics really quick because I'm blanking on it.
Yeah.
We're so vacant, these bodies collapsing so gracefully, and I love you, and I'm sorry, and I understand if you blame me, and I'm helpless and you're drowning, and I'm beating at the water here so desperately.
I always forget that those lines are in the song, and then I listen to the song again, and I'm like,
Yeah.
That shit hurted.
Drew a line on the sand with these goddamn worthless hands. Woof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we put that one on there for the Fee Captain scene. I forgot that My Lady's House by Iron and Wine.
Yeah.
I got Al into Iron and Wine just because of the Fee Captain.
Yeah. Well, you got.
Well, I got a
few years ago.
Yeah, but I like started throwing Iron and Wine at you once we started doing Fee Captain stuff, because there's a lot of Iron and Wine songs that are Fee Captain songs.
Yeah. So that was for the little Fee Captain moment. Near the beginning layer, there's light in my lady's house, and there's none but some falling rain. This like a spoken word. She has more than her 1,000 names. And the whole song, really.
Yeah.
The whole song, really. Love is a fragile word in the air on the length we lay. Thank God you see me the way you do, strange as you are to me. Yeah, it's...
Yeah. Get you a man who views you as a religious experience.
Fee Captain is good, actually. I love them.
Well,
Lament of Eustace. Yeah. The Lament of Eustace Scrub is one of the songs that we put on the episode playlist for Fee. And
that one's also on the Kiva playlist.
Yes, it is also on the Kiva playlist.
Yeah, we're gonna start getting into a lot more of these songs as the season goes on.
A lot of the ones that are on both playlists. When we release the Kiva playlist, what then? The beginning is, brother, forgive me. We both know I'm the one to blame. When I saw my demons, I knew them well and welcomed them. But I'll come around someday. Ugh. And then near the end, you got, when I touch the water, they tell me I could be set free, so I'll come around someday.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes. Because I think...
Careful, don't drop your phone.
I have my phone.
Okay.
Because I think... especially like the beginning of this episode was kind of a low point for Fee for obvious reasons.
Because she McFucking died.
For obvious reasons. And the song struck me as, because we knew we were going to put it on a playlist for Fee at some point, and this kind of struck me as the time to do it, just because of that low point that she hit during that one scene. Yikes. And then after that, we had the other Fee song on the episode playlist, which is In League with Dragons by the Mountain Goats. That was on there because of Fee's relationship with Kiva, and because of the lines, find a way to make it real, make a deal until my protector comes. And it was also on there because of it's so hard to be yourself when you've already seen the inside. Tried to navigate the turns as best you can, hit it on down the slide. Good friends are where you find them. People talk all kinds of trash. Never you mind them. I can't fucking talk. And then you got to be strong in the face of suffering. Cut a good figure just in case somebody's watching, even if it ends up meaning nothing. Yeah.
Yike. And then last one was Seasons by Need to Breathe. This was the other Leo song from the playlist. Mostly because of the chorus, which is, we're in for nasty weather, but I'll ride it out with you. We won't be riding highs and lows like tides of ocean blue. We can't be shifting with the sands like seasons always do. As they were sailing into that massive storm, I thought that was a good note to end the playlist on.
We were in kind of a unique situation with this playlist also because we had set it up at first to be a playlist for this and most of episode 13 of the season. And again, we'll go into that more later, but
oh yeah, and this line
yeah.
too, I was in perpetual anticipation. I never knew what was worse, the evil I had spent my time reliving or the worrying that made it hurt.
Yikes.
I am done with waiting on the creek to rise, because there's more to life, there's more to life, there's more to life. Yeah.
That shit hurt.
Yeah.
That shit hurt.
I just think the vowel signs.
Oh, that one hurt.
We got a lot of very specific questions this week.
We got a lot of Pelican questions, which is I'm gleeful about.
Yeah, so
we're gonna go over those later because we have a couple of more plot relevant questions that we're gonna kind of riff on for a bit. But we did get a lot. We got a lot of Pelican questions, which I am very happy about.
First one, is Fee still level 10 just with the subclass change?
Yes. So what we did was we kept Fee's levels all the same, and we just gave her the Storm Sorcerer subclass. And then I redid a lot of her spell sheet, because a lot of her spells, like she had Guiding Bolt, which you can't have as a Storm Sorcerer.
Yeah, it's a Divine Soul thing.
Yeah, it's a cleric spell, which is why you can have it as the Divine Soul Sorcerer. So I had to get rid of that, and I had to replace that. I think I replaced it with a higher level spell, because you can if you don't play sorcerers often in Dungeons and Dragons, you can change your spell sheet every time you level up, which
like
is
completely
cantrips,
everything. Yeah.
Have fun. But so I had that opportunity, and I changed around a lot of stuff on her spell sheet. I got rid of Guiding Bolt. I got rid of she doesn't have healing spells anymore. She had Bless, and she doesn't have that anymore. And then
basically you had used a lot of the like Divine Soul specific spells on her spell sheet before, and then you just didn't have access to those after the subclass change.
Yeah. Somebody said, love that. I had a sorcerer that changed subclass 3 times due to narrative circumstance. So true.
God damn.
So true. I find it's very fun and easy with sorcerers to let the narrative dictate your subclass.
Because sorcerers are buck wild anyway.
Yeah. More than it is with a lot of classes, just because it's like, it's an intrinsic internal thing. Why wouldn't it change when you have character growth?
Or get struck by lightning.
Which was a character building moment. For Fee. I'm fully kidding. I'm fully kidding.
Something Kiva voice zap zap. It builds character.
Aww. Fuck. But yeah, on the vein of that, like, this was planned from the beginning, and I was already prepared for this. So a lot of the spells that I did have were already flavored to go with Storm Sorcery, and very intentionally so. And they kind of work in with the new Storm Sorcerer abilities that Fee has, which I'm not going to discuss in detail. If you want to look up the Storm Sorcerer subclass, you can.
I mean, we get to see it a bit in action next week.
Yeah. But it's a surprise. It's a secret tool, though.
And I mean, and that mechanical change and you losing a bunch of that, like kind of cleric spell list stuff actually impacted my choice for the way I'm leveling Leo up, because I had we both originally forgot that you were going to lose Guiding Bolt, because it's either a cleric or a Divine Soul Sorcerer spell, and if you're not a Divine Soul Sorcerer, you can't use it as a sorcerer, and we both forgot about that until they actually leveled up their character sheet. And originally, I was going to pick Mastermind as Leo's rogue subclass when he got to level 3. Because at that point, we thought that Fee would still have Guiding Bolt. And there's a really cool thing about the Mastermind Rogue subclass where you can use your bonus action once per turn to give the help action from up to 60 feet away. And we had this kind of combat machine in mind where Leo could bonus action help Fee from anywhere on the battlefield. And then all Fee would have to do is shoot a Guiding Bolt, and they would be a permanent machine of giving each other advantage.
Yeah, and it was a really cool like combo move that we had planned out, and we just fucking forgot that Guiding Bolt.
So Leo's not going to be a Mastermind anymore. I'm picking a different subclass, but
which I think fits better. But
for sure. I'm not telling you what it is. It's gonna be cool when you find out, though.
About it later.
I'll
tell you when we get there. Um,
But yeah, like I just, as soon as we realized like, oh, that whole like combat thing that we were planning on doing where we could like basically never have disadvantage on anything or always have advantage on things, like that's not going to happen. I was like, there's not enough cool stuff about Mastermind for the rogue levels that I'm going to take. I'll pick something else.
Yeah, because the coolest thing you were going to get was cunning action, and you get that anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking enough that I'm going to get uncanny dodge.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot.
Which isn't going to be any fucking use against our BBEG we discovered the other day. Because uncanny...
It'll be good until then, though.
Yeah, uncanny dodge is only good for attacks that are rolled to hit you, like a sword or like a targeted magical spell where someone has to roll to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get hit, you can use your reaction to have the damage with uncanny dodge across the board. You just have the damage, and you can do that as many times as you want. Rogues. But Moreland Valsign's entire spell sheet, with the exception of like power word kill, is all AoE. He doesn't roll to hit fucking anybody. You roll for him to not hit you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be useless.
Barry, who designed Moreland's spell sheet, discovering this.
And I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sorry if you guys see me like going around with my my frozen paper towel. Yeah, it's hot and I am in hormone withdrawal and I can't stop sweating. But
life. And then we got asked. We got asked, "What's up with the bracer?"
You designed it.
Yeah. So the thing with the bracer is,
we designed all of each other's magical items. It's been fun.
So what we did when we started planning out the podcast was we gave each other sets of magical items. Somebody said uncanny dodge doesn't work for save spells. Nah.
Nope.
And somebody else said Moreland has power word kill with significantly more desperation. Yep. But yeah, the bracer. We designed like sets of magical items for each other, which is like where we have Fee's cape and her orb that are kind of tied together and like work in concert with each other. And we haven't gotten to see everything to do with those, but that's fine. And like the main item, which is Fee's cape and Leah's knife, like levels up with them, not with them, but milestone levels along with the story. And unlock some more abilities, but we also gave each other accessory items to kind of boost
that work with their main items.
Yeah. And for Leo's items, I was very much thinking like espionage, like rogue shit, like get in fast to do a lot of damage, get out, because that's kind of where Barry was.
That's how I've spec'd him.
Yeah,
like he's just a killing machine.
Yeah, that's
he's just a damage machine,
mechanics wise.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of help along with that. So the concept of the knife was very much, wouldn't it be fun if Leo can just sneak a weapon in anywhere? Wouldn't it be fun if Leo's weapon A can go anywhere with him and no one can find it because it's in a pocket dimension, and B can return to him on the field at any time.
Yeah, there is a moment in season 2 where we get a really cool scene of Leo like fucking throwing the knife and then zapping it back into his hand. It's really cool.
Yeah. So it was very much something I designed to kind of be a combination. Oh, excuse me. Mechanically, it's like a combination portable hole blink belt, basically.
Yeah,
in bracer form. Yeah. So
it's just as many times as you hit the gem. Like, you hit it once, knife's gone, you hit it again, knife's back. Knife's back in your hand specifically.
Yeah. And I forgot that we were saying we didn't have to attune to each item in the set separately, because I think I made you attune to it during the episode. That was my bad. And I wasn't supposed to do that. It's just that I'm stupid. Disregard that. Before anybody centers a theory on the fact that Fee didn't have to attune to her items and Leo did, it's because Al is an idiot.
There are many things in this podcast that like I'm sitting in the editing chair and I'm like, oh, we fucking forgot about that. Like, oh my gosh, there's one huge combat we do where we got all the way to the end of the combat, and I realized, and the captain was beat to shit. And like we were recording the end of the combat, and I looked over at Al, and we had been in the chair for like 3 hours recording this combat, and I was like,
it's a few episodes from now.
I was like, holy fuck, he hasn't used uncanny dodge this entire time. Yeah, it's just when you have two people like running like 10, 11 combatants, like it's so hard to remember everything. So we do drop the ball a lot. We do forget a lot of shit.
5e is a game that has a lot of nitpicky rules, and we're not encyclopedias. We're just dumbasses that record podcasts. But anyway,
my apologies to the captain.
And sometimes our self-imposed rules are also ones that we forget.
Yeah.
Mostly me. Anyway, but the bracer is intrinsically linked to the knife, so Leo can't use it with other weapons.
No, it has to be the knife.
Yeah, it is linked explicitly and inseparably to Kimrel's blade. It only works with Kimrel's blade.
Do you think Kimrel just snuck onto the boat like Santa Claus and like gently hid the bracer in the box?
Who's to say? Who's to say? I don't think it's an accident that it was under a crystal ball.
No. Oh, okay. Okay. I just figured something out. You won't.
You won't.
For another whole season. But
anyway, the bracer is a secret tool that will help us later. It's a part of Leo's magic item set that I designed way back.
Yeah, because we each get 3. So
yes.
Fee now
have 2 of theirs now.
Well, Fee has all 3. Not in this episode. Sorry. Sorry. She gets the third one later.
She gets the third one later.
Fee has 2 now.
We've recorded Fee getting her third item.
We haven't recorded Leo getting his third one yet.
Not yet. We're saving that for season 3. Mm-hmm. But they each have 3 items, and their main item has 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something cool that we did to add a little extra flavor.
And we get to see both of their items leveling up pretty
before the end of the
soon.
Season, yeah.
Before the end of the season. Like I think Leo's does it first, just because of narrative. Yeah. Like narratively, it just made sense for him the item to level up.
But we'll talk about that more when we get there.
Yeah.
And now we get into fun questions. Our first fun question was, are elf pregnancies 5 times longer than human pregnancies? No.
God, can you imagine being pregnant for 5 years?
Yikes.
No, not inflicting that on the people of our
a
world
little
that we
less
have
than
built.
4 years. It's 45 months.
Ugh.
I hate that for them, actually. That's bad. No. In my head, it's closer to about half that, and they just develop faster in utero than humans do, and all elves kind of come out a little underdeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
was my idea.
Mm-hmm.
My thought process. I've been picturing them like deer babies. They're very underdeveloped, but they're like running first thing.
Oh no.
Somebody said 20 months. It's more comparable to elephants.
Yeah, because elephants are pregnant for like a year, right? Like
elephants are pregnant for like 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a little longer. But it's a little shorter because it's math. I'm bad at it. Anyway, but yeah, it's roughly comparable time frame wise to elephants, and I just think they come out pretty underdeveloped, but they walk very early. Biology. I don't know.
I'm just thinking of some of the things that we've said in our pitch meetings, and I'm just thinking that's so funny. Anyway, yeah.
I also think multiple births are more common in twins, or are more common in elves. I was caught between saying multiple births and saying twins, and it was anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, like Fen had 2 twin sisters.
Yeah, twins run in the Valsine family.
Yeah, because Morlun has 2 siblings that are twins.
Yeah. Leo and Fee have cousins that are twins.
Yeah, so
Fee's mom is a twin.
Like
they're just more common in oven species. So, which I think is why, like, if we go back to like season 1 and when Leo met Celica and Talindra,
he was like, "Oh, are you twins?"
Yeah. I think partially that was because he hadn't met anybody who was plural before, and also because, like, yeah, twins are common.
Yeah.
Natural first response. But and then after that, and the person that asked that question, apologize for asking it. Don't. We love to have questions. It's fun.
And that's like fun world building stuff.
Yeah, it's fun world building stuff. We're having fun. Never apologize. This one. This is so specific, but would Pelican or the bird use the word procure? Like, he uses big words a lot, right? Is that one that he'd use?
Yeah.
I don't know why you think of the word procure.
Maybe you should reconsider what you were about to say.
Stop. I don't know why you would think of that one specifically, but yeah, I would think so. I
think he does use the word procure in a later episode.
I think so, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think not necessarily. Pelican has a very thoughtful, like, way of thinking and way of putting things together, and the bird has a very formal speech pattern and has assigned that very formal speech pattern, obviously, to Pelican's thoughts. So I think I can't fucking talk. Procure is not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he speaks is pretty, erudite, and
he's a very well-read person. I think is something we've established about Pelican. Yeah, like, he's a very intelligent person, and he's someone who not necessarily, well, he's pretty worldly, he's pretty well-read, he's pretty
he's very well-traveled. I mean, he's a pirate. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want him to use the word procure, do it.
But I think kind of the way that we've formulated his speech pattern, especially given the bird.
Yeah, the bird specifically is
very,
over
very,
formal.
Very, like, formal and erudite.
I don't think if Pelican was a person who spoke, he would necessarily be as formal as the bird is, but he is very well read and he is very intellectual. So I think the bird's speech pattern is close to the way that he would talk if he talked.
But we have said before that the inside of Pelican's head, as far as communication, is just loud
death metal.
thrash metal music.
Yeah. Constant sensory overload is the reason for that, though. What pet names does Pelican use for Boots?
My love.
My love. My dear.
My dear. Yeah.
Beloved. Not necessarily beloved.
Oh, God. I'm picturing the bird saying beloved, and that's the worst fucking thing I've ever imagined. That's chilling.
Yeah, I don't like it. But yeah, my love, my dear, my darling.
Yes.
I think he's pulled out of My Sweetheart once or twice when he was in trouble.
So true. Man, I can't imagine having Boots mad at me.
Yeah, bad.
Because I feel like Boots is one of those people where it's like, it's so hard to make him mad.
Yeah,
it's so
which is
hard
why
to make
I
him
think
mad.
that would be the only thing that could drive Pelican to actually unironically use the words, my sweetheart.
Love of my life.
Apple of my eye.
True. But yeah, like, Boots is super hard to make mad. He's so easygoing. I imagine when he actually gets pissed, it's terrifying.
Yeah. Somebody said, what's Pelican and Boots' love languages? Boots' acts of service. We saw that in episode 10 of this season, when, like, his whole expression of love in that episode was like watching out for Pelican while he was seeing through the bird's eyes and, like, making sure he was okay. And Pelican gifts, which we also saw in Siren Song, because the first thing he asked Fee when she was going into town was, can you ask my husband to get a gift for the bird? But yeah.
I feel like Pelican leans toward quality time as well, too.
Yeah, quality time was my first thought.
Yeah.
Gifts was the one I could back up. But, like, I feel like it's gifts followed by quality time.
Yeah.
Mostly because, like, they both demonstrate that you are thinking of the other person. So, like, I think Pelican loves quality time, but can't necessarily do a lot of it because social spoons. So gifts is the close follow to that.
Yeah, the quality time thing, I was just thinking about the fact that, like, he lives
Yeah.
in the room with Boots, but he doesn't
That's true.
sleep.
Yeah.
He doesn't. So what does he do in their quality time?
Quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think quality time when he has the social spoons for it, gifts when he does not.
So true.
Has Pelican ever tried to feed the bird, and how did it react?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think the bird eats of its own volition.
It just like goes and gets a fish like a pelican. Yeah.
Yes, but I don't think the bird needs to eat, and I think Pelican knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Pelican is very clear on what the terms of their arrangement are, and they do not include feeding the fucking bird.
That's so funny. So, okay, if the bird eats of its own volition but doesn't need to, does that mean that the bird kills for sport?
Yeah. I think the bird, much like Pelican, eats as an act of hedonism.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I think the bird and Pelican are aligned on the fact that, we're undead. Might as well have fun.
I hate that bird so much.
Yeah. It once swallowed a seagull
whole.
Remember?
Just for fun. Just for fun.
Yeah. It's a nasty bird. It's a bad bird.
Surprised it hasn't tried to eat the cat.
Oh, it can't eat the cat. Cat's too big. I know how big pelicans are. Notice that
Delinquent Repayment
is a
big
fat,
cat.
big cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody asked, what's Pelican's big three? We are split on Pelican's sun sign. I want to hear your reasoning for saying you thought he was a Cancer sun.
I think he's a Cancer sun because, well, I kind of agree with what you said with your assessment, though. But my initial thought was Cancer sun, just because I think, despite his whole thing and like how he puts himself across, he very much is kind of a homebody that cares very much about like staying with his people and staying close to the people that he feels close to. And and
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely got Cancer in the chart. I said that I thought he was an Aquarius sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Virgo rising. And my rationalization for Aquarius sun was that so much of the way Pelican acts is intentionally eccentric.
Oh yeah, he's weird on purpose.
Yeah, he's weird on purpose. He is weird as like as just as a very intentional way of being.
Yeah.
And to get reactions out of people.
Yeah.
The first thing he did on screen was he and the bird conspired to make Leo question whether or not Boots and the bird had a connection. That was the first thing he did on screen. Well, no, sorry. The first thing he did on screen was the bird, of its own volition, probably with his endorsement, turned to a waitress and said out loud that he was a
Madam,
service
I will
animal.
have you know that I am a service animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think so much of the way that Pelican projects himself is so intentionally like weird uncle.
Yeah. He means to do it 100%.
Yeah. He's just a weird, charming man. And it's very intentional. So that's why I said Aquarius sun.
Yeah, and I actually do agree with that. I think he does have Cancer in the chart somewhere though. Like maybe in maybe like Venus, like a Cancer Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said Virgo rising because I think he comes off, when you don't know him well, as weird by accident. And he comes off as very refined and very organized and very on top of things because he has to be, because he's in charge of the navigation for the ship and everything. And I think it's only once you get to know him a little better that you realize, oh, no, you're doing that because you want to fuck with me.
Yeah. Pelican chooses violence every day.
Right. That, by the way, makes our tally of Aquarii in the podcast: Pelican, Kalesa, and Verity.
The three different types of Aquarius.
So true. Somebody said, what music would Pelican listen to?
Death metal.
Death metal or smooth jazz? No in between.
Or classical.
I don't think classical.
Okay.
I don't think classical. That's why I was thinking smooth jazz. Yeah, because I think classical is not really his vibe. I think smooth jazz is a little more chaotic and he can vibe to it more.
Fuck. I love him so much.
Somebody said, what would the bird listen to? The bird listens to classical.
Yes, that's
the bird
okay.
listens to Vivaldi.
Yeah, that's where does Vivaldi's winter not fucking slap?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The bird listens to classical music. Pelican the man listens to smooth jazz or death metal, no in between. Somebody said, I gotta be real with y'all right now. For some reason, I did not register that the bird was actually a pelican. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the bird actually is. That's why they call him Pelican. Yeah.
A relatively small one to be able to sit on Pelican's shoulder because pelicans are large birds.
Well, there are smaller breeds. Of pelican, like a blue pelican is like fucking huge, but they're like smaller, like the ones we see down at Shoreline all the time.
Yeah.
Or like
even the small ones are like sizable birds,
Yeah.
but small enough to sit on a shoulder, but still a pelican. What's Pelican's favorite color? Dark purpley blue, like a deep indigo. Yeah. Does Pelican smell dead? No. Okay, here's the thing. We talk about various
If you
states.
do that, I'll be back.
We as creators talk about various states of undeath a lot. You'll
understand why.
You'll understand. You'll see a lot of it. Pelican in my head when I write, when we get into like movie monster states of undeath, paranormal romance, like that kind of thing. When we get into the mechanics of it, I think of Pelican as a reanimated person, which is, in my head, every place on the continuum between a zombie and a vampire. He doesn't get the perks of vampirism, like the enhanced physical strength or the speed or anything. He just is dead. He just is not alive. He has died. Sorry. He has died. And he is medically not alive now. That's his whole thing. Like he is in a state in my head of interrupted death. He is not decaying. He just is physically at the point of death. If that makes sense.
I would say he doesn't have a heartbeat.
He doesn't have a heartbeat. He doesn't need to
breathe.
He doesn't need to eat. He doesn't need to breathe. Yeah. But yeah, he is specifically not decaying.
Yeah. The bird.
We're very clear about the bird is.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it can. Because it likes to be weird also. But Pelican is not. If something happened to the bird, would Pelican be able to make that sort of mental connection with something / someone else? Or is that a connection he only has with the bird?
The bird is a familiar.
Yeah, the bird is a familiar. So when a familiar, as designated by the Find Familiar spell, when a familiar dies, you can summon it back. You just have to cast the spell again.
Mm-hmm. And he can do that at will because of his warlock stuff.
Yeah.
So if something catastrophic were to happen and the bird were to die,
perish.
Die? Question mark.
Be destroyed.
If something were to destroy the bird, if the bird were tossed in like a metaphorical wood chipper, perhaps, like
the bird were thrown into Mount Doom.
Fuck.
Pelican could resummon the bird.
Yeah.
Very easily. And it would be the same bird. Nothing can happen to the bird that will render it irretrievable.
Yeah, and again, because it's a familiar, the bird looks exactly the way the bird wants to. So being all like
the bird looks
up,
the way it wants.
Yeah, being all like fucked up and decayed and covered in barnacles is an
the bird
aesthetic
is also
choice.
Not technically a bird. It looks like a bird.
Yeah.
But technically by the Find Familiar spell, familiars are fiends, fae,
celestials, maybe?
Celestials, I think.
Here, let me look it up.
Yeah. Constructs, things like that. They are not technically the animals they appear to be. We call the bird a bird for simplicity's sake.
Like a bird. Yeah.
Because it looks like a bird. But it is an otherworldly being.
Sweetie, Ravain's emotional support.
Exactly.
Is also not a skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sweetie is also not a bird. Sweetie's a familiar because that's what familiars are.
Okay.
Yes, list out the things that familiars can be, please, Barry.
Give me just a second.
Okay.
It has this, but although it is a celestial, fae, or fiend. Yeah.
Yeah, celestial, fae, or fiend. Yeah. Sweetie isn't a skeleton. Someone in the chat said, yeah, Sweetie is
a fae, probably.
A fae, probably, yeah. Sweetie is a fae that looks like a skeletal bird. And like when we met Fee's uncle Adore and Courage, their cats are not cats. Their cats are familiars.
And are fae.
Yeah,
because Adore has an arch fae patron.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the whole thing with familiars. We call them the animals that they look like for simplicity's sake, but a familiar is a specific kind of otherworldly being. But
is the
Dungeons
bird
and Dragons?
Is the bird celestial fae? I think the bird's a fiend.
The bird's a fiend.
Yeah, the bird is a fiend. The bird is from hell. Well, because we've made the joke before that his AAC device is a bird from hell. Yeah.
The bird's a fiend. I don't think that necessarily speaks to the alignment of Pelican or his patron. I think the bird is just the bird's,
Pelican's
the bird's a hell bird.
Yeah. Pelican's patron is complicated because it's essentially Compelled Davy Jones, but like, and we never go into it.
Yeah,
but
we don't get to go into it, but didn't have the time. But bow. Oh, what color, skin, and eyes does Pelican have? Do you have a face claim for him? So, I personally have been picturing Pelican as a dark-skinned black man. It's not something that we've established super firmly in canon. And if we were given the opportunity to re-record season 2, that would be one of the things that I would change. Yeah. We establish, I think, in a throwaway line that Pelican has much darker coloration than Boots, but Boots is pretty pale.
But that doesn't take much, yeah.
Yeah. And I, in a few episodes from now, explicitly compare the way the Pelican looks to a character that is established as black. So we didn't establish it as firmly as we would have liked to, but
because we weren't really, I think at the time we just weren't really thinking about it because we had so many NPCs.
Yeah, we had a lot to get through, and we weren't really thinking about describing any of the NPCs in
very like explicit detail, except for the captain, who is like a very relevant. Yes. We weren't expecting all the pirates to be as well loved as they are. We're glad, but
and we didn't really give ourselves the time to go into it as much as we would have. I would say the correct interpretation is that Pelican is a dark-skinned black man, and also I think I've established in like previous Q&As that I think of the mannerisms of Ron Cephas Jones as a reference a lot, because he has that kind of like effortless charm and gravitas that I'm thinking of. And I also think that's why Pelican doesn't ping as a dead person to most people on sight, because like pallor mortis is less visible in dark skin. So that's kind of been something that's been in my head, and it's something that we establish to a degree in podcast. But again, if we had given ourselves the opportunity and thought about it more, we would have established it more clearly earlier on. Our bad. But yeah, that's definitely, I don't think we have a set face claim.
No,
I don't think we have a face claim. Just like generally, we made him on Sims, but we don't really have a face claim because that's kind of the case for a lot of our characters that have very distinct designs.
Yeah.
Is we just don't have face claims because everybody looks wrong.
Yeah.
We made him on Sims. And when we made him on Sims, we just had our design for him as just a dark-skinned black dude with locks, and that's kind of what we got. We don't have a specific face claim.
Very tall, very skinny.
Very tall, very skinny. Yeah. So.
He's like 6'7", legitimately.
Yeah.
Because like he's only a little bit shorter.
He's only a little bit shorter than Boots.
And Boots is almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
But Boots is like 3 Pelicans wide, though. Yeah.
But Pelican's like plausible person sized.
Yeah. Boots is like not
huge.
Yeah.
But Pelican is not a small man in comparison to Boots, but he is as not small in comparison to Boots as anybody on the crew is. But like, he's not an implausibly large guy. He's just very tall. And then our last question we got from our patrons this week is, what is Defiance's strength modifier? Can you tell us? I'm curious. It's a +3. It's a +3. She and Fee actually have very similar stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. She and Fee
they were narrative foils.
And they were narrative foils. She and Fee have very similar stats, except Defiance's dex is lower and her whiz is higher. I believe they have almost the same stats. So love that for them.
Open question time.
Narrative foils. But yeah, open question time. Woo! A lot of questions about Pelican.
If we're getting more questions, we can go a little long because, like, holy shit, we're
at 45 minutes.
We went long today, but that's good though. We love when we get lots of questions.
We love when we get lots of questions. Yeah, never apologize for having questions, y'all. We love to get them. But yeah, open question time in the chat. Productive Q&A.
I'm just thinking about fucking Pyramids of Salt by the Wonder Years. There's in the next couple episodes, there are some Wonder Years songs that are fucking coming for your asses. Pyramids of Salt is one of them.
Yeah. How does Kimmerl feel about Mia? Asked somebody.
Kimmerl fucking loves Mia.
Kimmerl fucking loves Mia. I think, Kimmerl's very fond of Mia.
Yeah.
Mia Sandus is a delight. I think Kimberl's feelings about Mia is that they are too cool to hang out with him. But he would love it if they weren't.
Yeah. Mia's the closest thing Kimmerl has to a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
he likes Mia better than Leo, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. There's a very limited pool of people that Kimmerl likes, and Mia
is one of them. Yeah, there aren't very many people that Kimmerl likes. I think he grudgingly likes Leo.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you little bastard! Oh, I just pinch your cheeks. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but Kimmerl and Leo have this like mutual. They're just mutually very awful to each other.
Yeah.
But I think with Kimmerl,
but I think that's Kimmerl's dynamic with everyone.
Yeah, I think the way that Kimmerl is an asshole to Leo is like a grudging fondness, whereas Leo just like fucking legitimately hates him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kimmerl is begrudgingly fond of Leo. Leo fucking hates him. Yeah.
And I think he's less begrudgingly fond of Mia, who also doesn't like him much.
Yeah.
But is the closest thing he has to a friend. Oy.
And we've said that he's fond of Sid, too.
Yes, we've said that he's fond of Sid. I think that's the list, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the list. Oh, goodness.
That's not true. There's another person he's fond of.
I said pretty much.
Okay.
I said pretty much the list. Oh, goodness. Somebody said Pelican fashion sense / presentation.
Molgoth. Not Molgoth. Like more like stuffy. Like I think like he dressed like fancy goth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say?
Goth. Like goth.
Yeah.
Like actual goth, with the ruffles.
Yeah.
I think we said something about him wearing a long coat in an earlier episode.
Did we?
I don't remember. Anyway,
Pelican with the chain pants. So true.
No.
No, I don't think it's that kind of goth though. Yeah, it's more the
fancy
like
goth.
It's more like the Victorian
vampire goth. Somebody said like properly gothic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe Molgoth was the words out of your mouth.
Sorry,
yeah.
We were talking about Kimmerl and I had Kimmerl on the brain, and I think that's why I said Molgoth, because Kimmerl's aesthetic is Molgoth.
God. But yeah, Pelican's properly gothic, yeah, with the ruffles and I think he wears like kind of loose sleeves a lot of the time. I think he has a very sort of masculine and androgynous kind of presentation. Jareth from The Labyrinth.
Yes. Yes.
David Bowie in the movie The Labyrinth.
Yes.
But gother.
Yes. Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
There it is. You got it.
There we go. I was like, in my head, I was desperately trying to fucking remember where the outfit I was thinking of was from.
The fucking the big shirt. Yes.
The big shirt.
And the tight pants.
Yes, the big shirt, but it's black, and the vest is a different shade of black. A complimentary one.
The leather pants stay, though.
Leather pants stay, though. And as do the boots. Yeah. Mm. I also think he just wears a lot of black because it's hard to coordinate because we've talked about like the kind of opalescent shimmer that he has is in rainbow colors. It's hard to coordinate.
Yeah, typically, pretty much the only options you got when like you got all the fucking colors of the rainbow flashing in your hair is just wear neutral colors.
You go out in the sunlight and then you have no idea what color the light is going to reflect off of your hair and your skin and your eyes. What do?
You wear black.
You wear black in many different shades.
Because black goes with everything.
Yep. Somebody said, the scars left by the lightning were described as having a wing-like pattern on Fee's back. Is that just like a symbolic thing, or will we maybe be seeing some physical change with that? Maybe.
Who knows?
You might.
Look up the Storm Sorcerer stat block.
Storm Sorcerer class features. Yeah, there's a reason that, along with the physical changes that happened after the lightning strike, was Fee's subclass. Oh goodness. I'm glad people reacted so well to the new additions to Feast design. People were very excited on Twitter.
Like that's gonna be the best thing about rolling back into Vogtboulder.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we've already recorded rolling back into Vogtboulder, and like we haven't done a lot of reaction yet, but like Leo and Fear are both gonna roll back in looking so fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh goodness. I'm excited to get the season 3 cover art out. We had like an actual brainstorming session. About how we could do the season 3 cover that you would be able to see Fee's scars and the white streak. We put thought into it. We're very excited about it. But yes, I was very excited for the new elements to Fee's design. I think very cool. Ooh, goodness. And apparently so was everyone else.
So, I mean, so true. Like she looks so fucking cool really now.
Cool.
Yeah.
She already looked cool, and now she looks cooler. Come on. Oy.
I legitimately am so excited to get Leo back in his season 1 fashion with his new character design. So, Oh man, but yeah, that's the real arc of season 2. Everybody's just getting cooler. Oh, that is. Oh,
I know.
no.
I'm kidding. I'm obviously kidding. Fuck them getting closer as siblings. The Valsines have gotten way cooler.
They've gotten so much cooler.
They look way cooler now.
Now that we're like this far into the season, I just want you guys to all think back to like remember like our hiatus Q&As where we're like, no, the plot of season 2 is really just like Fee has a religious arc and Leo gets hit by a bus.
Oh man. Fee tortured by visions. That's the summary of the episode.
Oh, speaking of which, I kind of wanted to talk on the dreams.
Yes.
The dreams.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Because we've established, we've talked in Q&As a bunch about like, oh, Kimberly and Kiva can't see the future. The things that Fee saw were not things that are currently happening, but they are events that Kiva, because Kiva is a divine being and very old and has a lot of perspective, they were events that Kiva was able to perceive were already in motion.
Yeah.
They are coming. And those images were created so in a way it wasn't really seeing the future. It was it wasn't seeing the future in a way that like, oh, this is something that is in flux and that could be changed. Like they were all events that are already in motion and are going to happen no matter what, and Kiva has enough perspective to know that. Just because I didn't want people to be confused, because like we were like we made a really hard line last week about like they can't see the future.
They can guess. They can infer from the things that are already happening.
And they have enough perspective to see like big things that are in motion and like are just going to happen. So like everything that we saw were events that are just they're already in motion. They're going to happen. And it's not that Kiva like looked into their crystal ball and saw it. It's that Kiva was like, oh, I have a lot of perspective on what's going on in the world right now. And I see where these events are going. So I'm just going to maybe warn her about it.
I'm gonna help her out. As just after last week or after the other day, I'm just going to, you know what? Oh, somebody talking about physical changes in their D&D character. Very cool.
Nice.
Love that. Yeah, we had a lot of thoughts about the experiences that the Velsides are having in season 2, leaving lasting physical effects on them. And also I've talked about like writing Fee as someone with chronic pain, as someone who has chronic pain myself, was very important to me and all that.
But yeah, Kimberly and Kiva, they can't see the future, but they have a way bigger perspective. And yeah, I think we said this last week. There's only one character in the whole podcast that can actually see like potential timelines, and we haven't met them yet.
We haven't seen them yet. But yeah, very excited. We are plotting. We are planning. Oh goodness. 5-minute warning. Anybody questions in the chat? Ouch. Oh, my back. All right. But yeah. We were gonna elaborate on the fucking the episode split. We were gonna elaborate. We mentioned a few weeks and weeks ago.
If you have questions, still go ahead and ask.
Yeah, still go ahead. But we mentioned like weeks and weeks ago that episode 12 we had to split because we got almost 2 hours of recording and almost 2 hours of like polished episode out of our recording session. So that's why we cut the episode off where we did.
We did a dungeon crawl and it got a little out of hand because Barry loves running dungeon crawls.
We did a dungeon crawl because Barry really wanted to run a dungeon crawl and it worked for the plot and it was very good. And it's 40 minutes of audio. And that's without the rest of the episode wrap up. And we thought that was all going to be episode 12. And we didn't want to do that to y'all. So episode 13, it is a 2-parter. Episode 13 starts right where we left off and has the dungeon crawl and then wraps up a few things.
Check the fucking content warnings.
Check the content warnings. Check the content warnings.
I'm speaking directly into your ear. Look at them.
Somebody said, does the captain's life get better?
Not fucking yet.
Not yet. By the end. Probably.
Podcast has a happy ending, but
podcast has a happy ending.
The captain's life doesn't get better yet.
Not yet. And then somebody said, does the bird ever try to preen Pelican's hair? And if so, how does Pelican react? I think
pelicans don't preen, do they?
Yeah, I don't think pelicans preen because their beaks aren't really built for it.
And their feathers are coated.
And also, I just don't think that's the kind of relationship.
They have a very professional relationship. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I think that would be a weird overstepping of some physical boundaries. I think if the bird tried to do that, Pelican would go. No. And they would have a firm discussion about ask before you touch. They would have a firm discussion about physical boundaries. Oh goodness. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because
an
like the
image.
bird sits on his
That's an
shoulder.
image. Yeah.
The bird sits on his shoulder for like portability. It's not because they are like I think to a degree that they have like a nice working relationship.
Yeah,
but
they
like
have a nice working relationship.
But-
I would say they are casual friends.
but the bird rides on his shoulder for portability reasons because
Yeah.
it's his voice, you know.
Yeah.
So
And also, like I said, I picture pelican with locks, and those like there's a lot of maintenance that goes into locks, and there's a lot of care that goes into it. And I don't think he wants the bird's mouth on them.
yeah, so true.
Because bad. Whoa. The mental image is oh my god, I hate the bird. I love the bird, but the bird is bad.
Yeah, it's a nasty.
Sucks.
It's a nasty bird.
I love the bird, but it's a lot. And with that, we're gonna wrap up for the week. This was fun. Check the content warning.
Fucking check the content
We're
warnings next week.
gonna put reminders in the episode descriptions. We're gonna put reminders in the social media posts. Check the content warnings.
Farewell.
Check the content warnings. They'll be up on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Check them.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.